All right, boys, we're back. One take video, that sort of thing. The game just wrapped up. I want to get these thoughts out to you guys instantly while it's still on the top of my head. The Denver Nuggets lose 2 games at home and then win 2 games on the road. So the defending champs are back. Season series is now 2-2. It's anybody's game from this point. Home court advantage is back with the Denver Nuggets. Minnesota, Anthony Edwards' freakish performance today. I don't think I've seen him shoot the ball much better than like today. It just seemed to be every time he was pulling up from the 3-point line that it was dropping. It was insane. Rudy Gobert having a big influence on the boards today. He was playing to his strengths and really getting in down and dirty like he always does. Playing phenomenal. Karl Anthony Towns, poor game today. I think he was the reason that they actually eventually lost this one. I think he shot 5 for 18 from the field, if that, and played mediocre defensively. He gave up stupid fouls, which we know Karl Anthony Towns is known for the last couple of years. He has, as of recently, gotten better, but we all know, such as in the play-in game last year, picked up 5 early fouls, and he is the key to their success. Anthony Edwards is playing at the top of his game right now. He is going to do everything in his power to will them over the line, but the Timberwolves can only play as well as Karl Anthony Towns plays. He is the secret to all of their success. As good as the perimeter defense is by Jaden McDaniels and Nickeil Alexander, Karl Anthony Towns needs to make an impact. When he's not scoring the ball and then going on the defensive end and playing poorly, giving up silly fouls, putting them to the line in dumb moments, it hurts them, and they need him more than ever. So going back to Ball Arena now, who knows where this series goes? It flips back to Denver, in my personal opinion. I think they've got a lot of momentum now, where for such a young team like the Minnesota Timberwolves, outside of Mike Conley, they need to develop themselves and they need to readjust to a situation like this, where they've gone from having all the momentum in the world, winning 6 straight games, to now having their backs against the wall. It's as simple as that. They've lost 2 games at their home court, which does not happen very often at all. So, but in my opinion, it flips back into Denver's favour. Denver, we know they've got the championship pedigree and they've got the experience. They know how to adjust in late games. Jamal Murray came back today looking like himself. Nikola Jokic was as good as he always is. Today he just scored the ball a lot more, which if Denver are going to win this series, I do want Jokic to look at the ring a lot more, because he can score with the best of them. We all know this. We've seen it night in, night out, and even tonight it showed more than any other night that if he actually looks at the basket and doesn't look so much to passing the ball, he can score nearly at will. He's got the little push shot in the lane. He's got the layups. He's got the soft touch around the ring. He's got the outside jump shot if he needs to go to that. He's got everything. And Jamal Murray, as I said, he's back to himself. He's playing awesome basketball. The Timberwolves going into halftime made an awful mistake. They turned the ball over. They had the chance for the final shot of the quarter. Turned the ball over. Michael Porter Jr. goes up the other end, gets a dunk, makes it a 12-point game. 1.6 seconds on the clock. Nickeil Alexander throws the ball in. Jamal Murray catches it from half court, lobs it up, and it goes in. 15-point game. Ridiculous shot, don't get me wrong, but the fact that they even had a chance to get that shot off is pretty much inexcusable for me. So yeah, who knows where the series will go now? There's 3 games left. A series is a series, How Minnesota tied this momentum is the biggest question really for me, is how that they really knuckle down and get stops when they need to and work out how to counter that Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic pick and roll. It has been absolutely killing them these last 2 games, and they need to find a solution to it. Because if you if you hedge the screen and you show on the screen, Nikola's going to go to the ring and he's going to get a floater. If you blitz Jamal, he's going to find Nikola Jokic. If you don't stay true to Jamal Murray and you hedge off to Nikola, he's going to find his spot in the mid-range or he's going to step back for that three-pointer. It's all in his arsenal. It's a deadly weapon for Denver. The fact that they haven't used it more in this series blows my mind. It's been a lot more. And now that they are using it, it's effective. It's working. And they shouldn't go back on it because I don't see a world where Minnesota finds some mysterious counter to it. Because, as we all know, it's one of the best 1-2 punches in all of the NBA. As for the other game, I'll be honest, being in Australia, the game starting at 3 in the morning for me, so I was well asleep. From what I've seen from post-game reports and box scores and all the analysis that I've done on the game, the New York Knicks time and the amount of time they've played on the court is catching up to them. The amount of injuries that they're sustaining, the amount of pain that all the players who are still playing are in. Josh Hart and Dante are probably the only two that haven't suffered anything severe. We've got Jalen Brunson. He played mediocre today, and we all know he's playing on one leg. OG Anunoby's out. Julius Randle's out. Mitchell Robinson's out. All these guys who are rotational players for the Knicks are all out and are all unable to play because of these ridiculous amount of minutes that they're putting in. Hats off to Tom Thibodeau. He's a great coach. He's, wheeling the Knicks in this point in time. But the amount of time they're playing these players is ridiculous. He needs to be able to give some of his guys a break because we all know that fatigue causes injuries and they are sustaining insane amounts of fatigue. We all know, the bench is getting thinner and thinner by the game. We do know this. But he really just needs to find a solution, whether that be going deeper into the bench and giving just spot minutes. Jalen Brunson even just 2 minutes on the bench. Any time that he can get on the bench, I'm sure he will be more than obliged. Because playing 48 minutes realistically in the best basketball league in the world it's hard. It's hard on the body. No matter what they say, Josh Hart, we know he's gone on press conferences and all that sort of thing, saying, people work 10-hour jobs, working at 6 a.m. when we're playing a game. This is true and this is fully correct, and I agree with what he says in the sense that, people do work big hour day, but you're not playing a top physical sport. 48 minutes playing the whole game and not getting a single rest is hard on your body. Where, some jobs you're not doing much other than doing what I'm doing right now and sitting on the chair. So he needs to just find minutes for his guys. It's all catching up to. As for the Pacers, beautiful team performance. It was one of the Pacers' better performances of this whole postseason. By the looks of it, 1 through 8, I think everyone had 10-plus points. Obi Toppin off the bench. TJ McConnell off the bench. Tyrese played great. Miles Turner played great. But nobody played, nobody hogged the ball, which was the biggest part of this offense. And this is what Indiana have prided themselves on all year. So 2-2 for both series. It's going to get interesting. I see at least one of them going 7 games. The Knicks going back to the Garden now, need to regroup, see what sort of health they're in, and really get after it, because if they lose one at the MSG, I don't see a world where they go back to Cambridge Fieldhouse and win again. So, and as for Minnesota, backs against the wall. You've got to perform now. They've really got to show some force. They've really got to get some scoring outside of Anthony Edwards. Karl Anthony Towns has got to step up to the plate and really do his thing. But yeah, that's it. One take wasn't too bad. That's all my thoughts and queries about the games today. Sorry to Pacers and Knicks fans. 3 a.m.'s a bit insane for me to get up and watch a game of basketball. I apologise. But it's going to be good. We've got 2 good series heating up. Hopefully some of them go 7 games, because there is nothing more I love in this world than a Game 7 of an NBA basketball series. Anyway, that's it. You guys look after yourselves. I will see you guys tomorrow.